Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Sunday, August 20th, 2023. Getting down to that final week and change of the month of August. We only have a couple of events and a couple of birthdays today, so it's going to go by pretty quickly. I was looking at the list of events, and there was not a lot of cup races held on this date. Really, very few NASCAR races. And of course, just the way that the calendar falls, it's always an anomaly every year where you might have a race run on the same date 2 years in a row and then never again for maybe 15 or 20 years. But anyway, on this date, 1989, Rusty Wallace continued to cement his solid season that year with a win at the Irish Hills of Michigan. It's a pretty dominating performance. I have watched this race over several times, and there's not really any one big event. It was just kind of that, again, a solid pillar of his championship season, even though he ended up winning the title by only, 12 points, I believe, over Dale Earnhardt. But he had 6 wins that year, and each one were just, a little different than the other one in terms of maybe some of them was like a late race pass. Others was where he was dominating but fading at the end. This one, he just had a solid run front to back and, put the whippet on the field at a track that he would eventually do pretty good at because his future car owner owns that track at the time. But also noteworthy in this race, Hut Strickland scores his first career top 5 finish driving for former championship owner Rod Osterlund. The only other big event that I seen was the Cup race last year in 2022 at Watkins Glen, where in a late race pass, Kyle Larson wins. Of course, his teammate Chase Elliott was leading on a late race restart, and just, caused some, I guess you could call it interdepartmental feuding there, but be that as it may, Larson won the Cup race last year. So got a couple birthdays from the drag racing world. Born on this date in 1964, part of the Kalitta dynasty, Doug Kalitta, and born on this date in 1969, longtime star in the Top Fuel. I think he's got a couple titles, but I know he was a teammate to John Force for a long time, Mr. Robert Hight. And then I guess you call it our primary birthday today. Born on this date in 1953, he's a household name if you're a NASCAR fan and an IndyCar fan, as he worked with ESPN and ABC over the years. Dr. Jerry Punch. So, you see the fire suits ESPN had, they started getting those to the guys in 1989. The pit reporters after a petty pit fire. That looks like Bristol. That's definitely Rockingham there, but always like those old style ear pieces and so forth. Then here he is interviewing Richard Childress. Really can't tell the track there, but you would be able to narrow it down definitely by the races the ESPN covered during that era. That's Watkins Glen, so this is probably 92, obviously the 93 card, but it's probably pre-race 1992, because there's one of Irvin's crewmen, there's one of Wally Dallenbach's crewmen, so pretty cool to pick out some of the stuff. This card here, finish line, obviously they've blurred out the cars in the background, and I've been trying, I think those are actually Busch Series cars, to be truthful, because I was trying to pick them out, and I really can't at this time. I didn't really spend a lot of time. Been kind of a just more casual look there. I really like that version of their fire suits. I thought it looked really, really sharp. Then our final one. Can't remember. I have sent TTM to Dr. Punch. He always replies in kind with a small little, note on the letter that you send. Always obliges. But a little history about Dr. Punch. He's been on several podcasts. Highly recommend those listen. There's a podcast out there called Dinner with Racers. And you'd have to go back like 3 or 4 years on that one. But he does have a really, really good 2 or 3 part interview there. I mean, obviously you have things like Dale Jr. Download and then Scene Vault Podcast. But he hasn't been on that one yet. I'd really like to hear him on that one. I think that would be a super interview there. And him and his daughter Jessie have a podcast called Rolling with the Punches, which I've listened to on and off because they kind of stray off the racing path a little bit and get into college sports and such. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. But anyway, happy birthday to all those today. Really, really do appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you enjoy it. We will be back tomorrow, again on Monday, with our Mailbag Monday video. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.